Hey, it's Dr. Melissa. This week we are talking about crossing the bridge from the finite to the infinite platform. And today we're specifically talking about this with regard to money. I want to give you a personal example of what I am talking about because I think it makes a huge difference, especially when we think about money. Remember, on the finite platform, if you've heard me talk about this before, on the finite platform, there are limitations, there are rules and guidelines and belief systems that we believe to be true that don't allow us to shift beyond where we are at. Whereas when we cross the bridge to the infinite platform, we find that there are actually no limits. The outcomes are infinite. We are expanded and inspired. It's an entirely different place to be. And so in thinking about money, in using myself as an example, I can say that I grew up with the belief system that you had to study really hard in school so that you got into a good college, got into a good professional program, and got a good job. That's how you made money in the world. I grew up with the belief system that you had to work really, really hard to get the things that you wanted. I grew up with the belief system that debt was bad and that you should never spend more than you make. And by living within those belief systems, there are more, I'm sure, but by living within those belief systems, I graduated from high school, then college, then medical school, then finished residency, got a good doctor job, and worked for a period of time. I didn't spend more than I made. I did the work really hard to earn my money and have my life. But what I found was I hit a limit. Because as a physician, I was essentially selling my time rather than my knowledge and expertise. There was a limit. You can only work so many hours in a week. You can only see so many patients in a week. And because we, as physicians, were not compensated based on the quality of work or based on, knowledge or experience or personal preference or other things that guide other parts of the marketplace, it was actually not possible to increase my salary. Now, don't get me wrong, a physician's salary is great. It's just fine. By no means were we destitute. But on that finite platform, following those rules, it was not possible to make more money. In fact, the only way to have more money available for retiring early or buying a vacation home or those kinds of things was to spend less. It was to manage the money that I had because the amount that I was able to make was actually limited. In shifting to the infinite platform, it requires turning really all of those thoughts and beliefs on their head. It involves believing and understanding the exact opposite, that the purpose of education is not to get a good job. The purpose of education is to learn more about the world and learn more about yourself. That working really, really, really hard does not necessarily bring better results. I can actually tell you now on the infinite platform that if I work less and have more time for self-care, my results are actually better. I actually make more money. Now, someone who's still on the infinite platform, and I've had advisors and business coaches who themselves are on the finite platform, will say, oh my gosh, well, if you got this result working in 4 hours, imagine what would happen if you did 12 hours that day, thinking I would get triple the results. And what they don't understand is, while that works on the finite platform, that is the opposite of what will work on the infinite platform. I may actually get better results by working only 3 hours on something instead of 4. It is literally the exact opposite. Likewise, that belief that debt was bad, and I'm not talking about running up, tons of debt going to Starbucks or buying clothes or whatever, but this belief that debt was bad kept me limited on the finite platform. Whereas on the infinite platform, People leverage debt to actually make more money. They leverage debt to invest in themselves. They leverage debt to invest in their business or their brand or their clients or their customers. They leverage debt to actually be able to move forward. This again is a belief system that is a complete 180 degrees from the finite platform. But if you want to cross that bridge and move to the place of unlimited possibilities, those shifts absolutely have to occur. And if you want help crossing that bridge, if you want help making the shift from the finite to the infinite platform, and then if you want support staying there, because so often life happens, right? Life happens and it's kind of like anchors that are pulling us back down to the finite platform, and we have to climb that bridge again. This is something I love to support people in doing, transitioning from the finite to the infinite platform, creating abundance in all areas of life, and I would love to support you.